Alright everyone, and welcome back to another Sims 4 renovation video. I'm Christina, aka ThatVarietyNerd, and today we've got another house in Willow Creek. We're kind of continuing in the neighborhood, if you can kind of tell in the background, that sort of thing. We are, this time, however, remodeling the Pancakes house. So, Bob and Eliza Pancakes as some of our wonderful favorite Sims 4 townies, that sort of thing. So, as per usual, just grab your snacks, grab your choice of beverage, and let's just sort of unpack this. And we'll also continue to talk about the new expansion pack coming out, if, that sort of thing comes up. And yeah, so they did address the concerns about the stuff that was controversial that was going on with the uh oh god, what was it? The stuff that we talked about a couple of it was basically like how they had my brain is pooping. I'm sorry. It was basically like how there were imagery that, it was at least Korean players. I don't know. Okay, so we refer to it as South and North Korea, but I've also heard it as Korean. So if somebody can educate me on that just like a quick second, I, would appreciate that. But anyway, there was some stuff involving the history and, it wasn't great. So again, I'll put those links in the description down below just so that way we're all on the same page. But basically, they're kind of removing some of the motions that involved I guess like bowing in front of stuff, like the how in the trailer, well, they also in the trailer removed it too, I believe. But they removed the motion where they were like bowing in front of like this sort of like well or something like that, like a praying type of thing, or motion, I should say. Again, I am the worst at wording things sometimes, especially, on a weekend. But anyway, getting back to it. Basically, they've cut out some motions and whatnot. And I mean, that makes logical sense. And they actually addressed it a lot quicker, and I'm actually surprised that they did address it just in general. But I'll link it down below, like what's all been going on. And again, I'm really glad they're addressing this stuff, and also it's giving us, like as players, an opportunity to learn and educate ourselves on these topics as well. Because, like, here's the thing: when you're living in the U.S. and likely other countries probably have this going on. Like, you don't learn about literally any other history. Even in your world history classes, it's more like stuff that's tending to relate towards your country. At least here, like what it was when I was in high school back in the, in the US. I almost said back in the US, like as if I moved internationally all of a sudden. Well, actually, no, this is actually really funny. So when the whole world went and started going crazy back in March, and everything was shutting down. Basically, I was pretty much still finishing up college. I was finishing up grad school at Kentucky, which, as many people here in the States know, they're just abbreviated as UK. However, I had a number of people on social media that took that as, oh crap, Christina's stuck in the UK, as in the United Kingdom. And I'm like, seriously? Like, it's in my description and everything that I'm in Kentucky, not like the UK. But now it's even funnier because I keep getting ads to go back to school in either Canada or like the UK itself. And I'm like, I mean, okay, that seems pretty legit, but anyway, I just thought that was funny, just. But anyway, getting back to it, like, they don't teach us, like, history and stuff like that. Like, they really don't. It's like, here's a bit. So, pretty much in high school, here's what we took. We took world history, but it was like the history of the world, not necessarily like, here are all these different cultures type of history things. Like, it overlapped with some stuff, but it was like, probably what you would expect in a world history class. Like, okay, here was how Rome was founded and stuff like that. Which, that's important too. But it's like, when you're talking world history, like, I think of it as like learning the history of, like, maybe some other countries or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, here's the history of the world. And then world history, you can divide that up into other different countries too. But like when I was in high school, I only had to take a year of world history. I took a year of US history, which they mainly focused in on like basically up until like World War II. And then it was like, yeah, we're going to rush right through this because we spent way too much time on World War One and World War Two. So thankfully, when I was in college, I was actually able to take a course that was like pretty much focused on everything past World War Two, I believe. No, it was past the Civil War. So yeah, like sometimes it really depends on the just like where you go to, but yeah, like sometimes you don't get the nuanced history of it because let's be real, history gets really confusing and it gets muddied up really fast, like if you're not keeping track of things. But yeah, I love history. History is always really interesting to me. But yeah, I think like, and then we took a government class, which that was probably my favorite of the three, just because I found it, the most interesting. So, yeah. Well, to be fair, I did do a double major with political science, like later on in my collegiate years, which, that explains probably a lot. But anyway, my point being is that I'm glad that this got not only addressed, but they actually did something about it. You know what I mean? Like, because, like, here's the thing. I mean, if you're playing The Sims, you want to be one represented, which thank goodness we're slowly but surely getting there finally. With the slider update that's supposed to be coming later this year. And I'm like, there's only 2 more months left in the year. Like, I mean, to be fair, next week, and we turn the clocks back an hour, which is if we actually need another flippin' hour of this year. But it'll be nice to have the sliders in there with like I believe it's skin, makeup. I don't know if they said anything about hair, but I remember skin and makeup sliders are coming. I don't know if hair is or not, but I think it's great to sort of see that happen, but yeah, I mean, in all actuality, like I'm really also thankful for the fellow simmers that are out there that are like, hey, like this stuff is a problem, like we need to fix this, and like it gives us an opportunity to learn from each other too, because like again, like with the whole situation right here about why, that particular these particular things about the snowy escape pack were like not okay in certain cultures. I would not have thought of that. You know what I mean? And it's like it's important for us to, educate ourselves about these issues, but it's also important, that we just, we can also learn from each other too. And I think that's also, important as well. And, the point is that we can learn, you know, we have so much access to like knowledge and all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like we have so much access to all this information, and it's like we, especially in the times that we're in right now, it's like we can, sit at home and like look up something if we have to. And then it's like I'm just skeptical in general about things, right? Right. Like I am a skeptical human being. Like I'm going to be skeptical of like literally anything that I read. But yeah, anyway, I figured we would touch on that because I was going to touch on that on my last renovation video where, just because it's a new thing. But yeah, I'll put all the links down in the description down below so that way you all can, make your informed decisions and all that sort of stuff. Or at least give you a launching pad to make your decision. But getting back to this renovation, Pancakes household, Bob and Eliza, they each have their own rooms. Their marriage isn't doing so great. So, pretty much what I did was that I kind of freshened up the outside, freshened up the inside, made it a little bit brighter, put in some hardwood floors, really went crazy in the bathrooms. Like, this was an interesting bathroom situation, but I think it works because, well, everything worked, and, that's kind of what matters, right? Right. And so that's pretty much what I did. I wanted to make it, just a nice, cozy, quaint bathroom. I realize if you have two Sims, you probably won't be able to fit in there, but you can always bump out the wall a little bit and, maybe tweak these things a little bit. But at the very least, it's in there. So yeah, we got 2 rooms, one for Liza, one for Bob. And if it gets to the point where, they need the space because of a kid or whatever, because that might happen in your game, then you've got a space. Then you've got a little bit of room for like, an extra bedroom or something, even if they have to share a room. So there's that. But yeah, it's been quite a time to say the least. It has been quite a time. But yeah, I'm excited about this new pack, and I'm glad that the things that were raised, as a valid concern, might I add, are getting addressed and also getting fixed because, like, especially because we're getting very close to the launch date, which is a Friday the 13th, which I find hilarious. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, but yeah, hopefully you all are enjoying these renovations. Even if I do have constant brain farts, I'm kind of recording a lot of these voiceovers kind of in the same day. So kind of bear with me again. I'm kind of just pre-recording a lot of things just so that way I can take a little bit of time off in November, partially because of the holidays, partially because I got family coming in, and also because, well, it's also novel writing month, and that's a thing. I also want to give myself time opened up in November to work on the pack. Like, as in work on the builds and renovations, not like work on the pack. Not work on the pack itself, obviously, but I want to make sure that it's all nice and, that we got our renovations and start a Let's Play because Lord knows we're starting a Let's Play. I've had some Let's Play ideas marinating for a while, but we're about to head into the screenshots in just a second here. And honestly, if you look at this house next to the house that we just covered the other day, this looks like a really quaint and adorable little neighborhood now. And I'm really enjoying how this is shaping up to be, especially because I've also re-renovated like one of the lots. I think it's the Potter's Splay plot of land where like I basically gutted that one again. So some of these lots I'm doing over like at least once or twice, that sort of thing. But I really like how this turned out. We kept some of the elements somewhat similar, but freshen things up a little bit to make it much more warm and inviting. And I think that's and functional, of course, because you got to have a functioning house in The Sims. That's just how things are going. If you don't have a functional house in The Sims, like where your Sims can make money and live a decent little life, then I don't know. I don't know, fam. Anyway, round, thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, leave a like, leave a comment, and also leave suggestions down below as to what you want to see me do next in terms of renovations here on the channel. So, on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye, everyone.